Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I'm going to get my camera all arranged here and get started as people start to get into the chat room. And just kind of going through all the stuff, my mountain of evidence here. Every single one of these videos is evidence. So I've compiled a lot of evidence here lately. And the theme of this channel is a little different now as we go through some of this stuff. And let's just get you down to the main part here. Here's 4 horses of the apocalypse in the clouds, 7 angels pouring bowls in the clouds. There's all kinds of crazy stuff I've been capturing in the clouds. And let's just keep scrolling through here. Here's Revelation 12 and all the stuff that surrounded that. Then, as we keep scrolling down here, I want to go to our main theme when all this began, because all this started for me back in September of 2017, when just a couple weeks before the star alignment on the 23rd, something weird happened here, and we'll get you started with that. And I see a couple people here. I probably won't get to most people, but at least it's something. Okay, so over here, this one down here is called Wake Up Call, and I'm going to start off with this like I usually do.
Welcome back, folks. First off, I'd like to say thank you to a fellow YouTuber who showed me how to use this instrument so I could go back into the archives and find something I've been looking for. He knows who he is. So, anyways, back in September of last year, there were 3 X-class flares that came off the sun as we are entering a grand solar minimum. And scientists theorize that, it could be this or that. Well, I'm going to show you what caused these X-flares. It's this object right here. So I'm going to put this into motion, and you're going to see. There's the first flare. That was an X10. Then the object travels towards the sun, goes back behind the sun, look what else shows up in this time frame. These 2 objects up here that look very similar to something we've seen before. Then as this object emerges from the backside of the sun, on this side over here, it causes a second flare. Here it comes. Boom. Here's our object right here. And as it starts to move away, you'll see it cause a third flare.
Hi, Cat's Eyes.
Boom. Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. Hi, Cat's Return of Cat's Eyes. I saw you there. I don't have my third device going, so I can't enter the chat room right now. But what I wanted to do was get nice and close up on this image right here. Can you see the wings on the sides like I just pointed out? Right here, and turning back this way right there. Okay. Now this happened on September 10th of 2017. The date's down here. It was about just over 3 years ago. The 10th was the 3-year anniversary of this event. And this happened before the star alignment, 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. And in the Revelation, it says the dragon will appear before the woman draped in the sun with the moon at her feet and a crown of 12 stars. Well, everybody thought the dragon was going to appear in front of her, but it appeared before her and her star alignment. 13 days to be precise, 13 days before her alignment, this happened to our sun. And there's more. We're going to keep going.
And that's not all. Because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here.
And I'm going to pause it here again because I'm going to get closer up on this conduit that's coming off the sun right here. This conduit right here is hitting this bigger object, causing an impact zone. Okay, and that object is bigger than the sun. The white circle represents the size of the sun. The black circle is the occulter that blocks out the sun so we can see the corona. But the actual size of the sun is represented by that white circle. And if you see the size of this thing, it's much bigger than that white circle. And it's still back at an angle. It's at an angle like this. Still like 45 degrees back that way. So it's not even perpendicular right next to the sun to give it a true size comparison. But I have found some other images of this on other satellites of this incident, and we're going to go through that again. We're going to go through that here in a few. But let's finish this one up real quick.
Run this backwards. You can see it goes backwards. There's the second flare. Back behind the sun, comes back out. And there's the first flare.
I just saw a question about the moon being an illuminary. It reflects the sun's light. Now, if the moon it was so dense that it bent and absorbed light, you wouldn't see it. It wouldn't reflect light. That's a reason why NASA's having trouble seeing these images, is because they're like black hole material that absorbs light. Anyways, you're going to get back to this. The moon reflects the light.
That object is sucking material off of our sun, causing these solar flares. Boom, right there. Goes back behind the sun. Comes back out. Second flare. And third flare. So there's your wake-up call.
Okay, yeah, I like your question. I understand you're digging at that. It could be this, I'm not sure, but I'm just showing you what I was shown by some forces, we'll just say, by God, let's just say. And this bigger object, I'm going to show you on another satellite here. So that was on September 10th of 2017. So now I got you over here at September 10th of 2017, and here's the same played out on this instrument. We'll even kind of back you over here so you can see. Look at all the debris that came with that. There we go. Let that run a couple of times real quick. And then I'm going to start pointing some stuff out. And we'll go frame by frame through this stuff too, so you guys can see what's really going on there. Now, I think it's time we start getting serious about what's really going on here and quit playing games just saying, oh, this was just a huge CME. It was a huge CME that was induced by a passing object. And you can see it go by right there and then just rip everything off the sun. So let's pause it right here and we'll go through this part frame by frame here. So pause right there. Let's slide this down. Okay, we'll back up a couple of frames. Okay, so it all starts right here. This is a pretty quick event too. It didn't take a long time for this thing to go whizzing by. So here we are, it's 1600, and I'm going to start going frame by frame. You can see the CME starting to emerge and our instrument reacting to it right there. Then our next frame is this. Just 12 minutes later is this frame. And here you can see the conduit right here has connected. It's reaching out, it's draping this object, this round object right here with coronal material, with the plasma that it's ripping off the sun is draping over this object and painting it. It's much like an invisible table. You can't see an invisible table, but if you throw a tablecloth over it, it drapes over it and paints the contour of the invisible object. Well, that's what's happening here. When our sun kicks out these solar flares, that material drapes over these objects and paints them. There's even another smaller one there and a tiny one in here. So that's just 12 minutes later. Next frame. Here we go. Now, if you look, this is coming all the way down and around and coming all the way up. So something about this size is passing by the sun, and it's the instrument's reacting to it. Then next frame. Not much going on here, except you can see how wide these two things have spread. Clear up like this and clear down like this now to wrap around this bigger object. Next frame. Okay. You can see over here some particles starting to arrive as this blast comes. Now, look at this right here. Do you see this black circle right here? It's black, even though it's being hit by material from the sun. Over on this image, you can't see it. All you can see is the particles and stuff that are, getting lit up that are around it. But here you can see this is where it's made its connection. And it's this big black circle that's still back behind the sun. So the next frame, it gives to us pretty much perpendicular to the sun. And you see that it's reaching all the way up here and reaching all the way down here for that bigger object that's back behind the smaller one that we saw first. Okay. If you look in this one's kind of creepy because it looks like a face. Let's just go in a little closer and see the eye and the mouth. This would be the eye. Here's the mouth with teeth, with a little red ball in the corner or something. A little spear in the corner. Okay, and that's the size of the object right there compared to the sun. Okay, so next frame. It's already passed. There's another trailing sphere that's right here that was behind the big one that's trailing along. Or it's just in front of it, down below. It's hard to tell. But you can still see our arms are spread out like this to go around a bigger object. Next. All right, I'm going to put this back into motion at regular speed, and I want you to see how fast that object went by the sun, like a freight train. See that? See how fast it went by? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow this down, and you're going to see how fast our sun went by this thing. Okay, there it goes, and leaves this big old tail of debris. One more time. There it goes. So I have to slow this way down to get it to where you guys can see. Here we go. Did you see that now? Once you slow it down, you can see it approach, see it hit, see the material drape over it. There goes an object before that one. And then the main event is coming up next. Okay, so that was back on September 10th of 2017. So let's go back to my page here, and we're going to go to another thing. So during this time, all this weird stuff is happening to me and happening around me, around my family and stuff. And I've been kind of recording it and documenting it and trying to, document this the best I can with the evidence and the facts that I get. So we're going to play this one right now because what happened during this time is my security cameras started picking up angels and Mary and demons and all sorts of different things showing up in my garage on my security camera. So we're going to go to the security camera footage here. And sorry about the phone background. Is crossing into this realm and going over these brown roof tiles in the background here. Ready, folks? Well, okay, so we'll get situated on this one here. Of course, the phone has to ring when I'm trying to do a live stream, but we will overcome. All right, I'm going to start this video real quick. This is a video of the angels and Mary that were captured in my garage. And what's the craziest thing about all this is security camera footage, which is admissible as evidence in a court of law. In fact, every day in court, they're using security camera footage of whoever broke in and stole what, caught in the act on security camera. But then all of a sudden, it's not valid if angels start showing up on your security cameras. It's this weird logic of everybody has it. Oh, well, that can't be true, even though it's true if it were a criminal or something. So this weird way of thinking that evidence like this isn't real or isn't true, it's just I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. So I'm just going to start this and we'll get going. Welcome back. So I know the last few videos have been a little unnerving and a little scary and disturbing, and they have been for me, and I don't take any pleasure in reporting on some of this stuff. It's just as scary for me as it is for you guys, and when that happens, it helps for me to go back into my pictures and look at some of the angels and stuff that I have here, and maybe this will help you guys and should help show you that there's some real hope out there. So in this image here, this all started back around the Revelation 12 sign in September of 2017, and right after that I captured this on my security cameras, and what we got here is an angel with its wings spread over here with a glow over its head. It's standing in a shaft of light, and then here is Mary's head, and I'm going to start zooming in on Mary's face here. And I was in anguish. I'm on my knees crying, screaming, and praying at the same time. And here this image shows up, and here's Mary with her crown. You can make out her shawl coming over. It's in shadow right here. She's looking down this way at my head. Hopefully the camera's capturing this. And I want you to look at that for a minute, because this is what brings me hope, is when I look at these. Just to pause it real quick, something that I'd never really mentioned much in these videos when I show this picture is this white orb with an eye in it, which I think you guys could just use your imagination as to what it is. I call it the God eye or whatever, but it's right there with these are real images, you guys. Okay, this is real hope right here, okay? Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in also on this angel over here. Now, I've tried to zoom in on this angel over here. You can't go in too tight, but you can make out his wings spread here. There's a glow over the head. It's standing in a shaft of light. One of the last feathers is crossing into this realm and going over these brown roof tiles in the background here. So it's crossing from their realm into ours and is actually visible. Okay, I'll let you look at that for a sec. We'll even pull back a little bit here because you zoom in too tight and you can't make it out. But you can make out the silhouette of its wings. Okay. Then, around the same time, my security cameras captured this image, and it's a lady's profile. She's smiling. Here's her headdress coming down. She's holding a baby. Here's the baby's head. Here's her arms wrapped around it. She's holding the baby, smiling, looking down at it. let you look at that one for a second. And this is right after the Revelation 12 sign in the sky. This happened on October 4th of 2017, so about 11 days or so afterwards. Okay. Okay, and this image, this is one of the better images that I've captured, but you got to turn your head to the right. So tilt your head to the right almost 90 degrees, and you can make out a wing here. There's a wing coming off here. Here's the torso and body, the legs coming down. Here's another leg coming down. It's got hair. It's a female, it has breasts, and it looks like it has some kind of crown or hat on it. Okay, and I'll zoom in a little bit. Then we'll zoom back out. This angel was caught in a shaft of light hovering over this sleeping kid down below here. Okay, so tilt your head to the right. We'll go in pretty tight on it too. This one you can. And you can make out it even has a face. And I'll zoom in on the face on it for you. See that? That's a real angel, you guys. That's a real image. This isn't fake or doctored or photoshopped or anything. I don't even know how to do that stuff, so that's a real angel right there. Nice clear image of one, okay? Hopefully this is bringing you guys a little bit of hope, okay? Because it does for me. Okay, now on to the next picture. Okay, now in this image, if you turn your head to the right again, you can make out what appears to be Jesus' face here with his hair flowing back and a crown hovering over his head. Now these images aren't only showing up in the etherical anymore. Now they are taking form in the sky and in the clouds. And zoom in just a little bit. Maybe zoom back out. There we go. These ones you can't zoom in on. They look better when you zoom back out. And let's go to another image. As you can see, this hung out for a while, and I got lots of images of it, lots of pictures of it as it unfolded. Where's this one? Right here. Maybe that'll help a little bit better. There we go. Okay, and these are real images, you guys, and I think God's trying to give us, you know, a little warning and a little bit of hope here also. So hopefully this helps you guys like it helps me to go back through these pictures. Okay, I pause it there for a few minutes. Let's go back to this one with the lady holding the baby. Pause it right here. Okay, this image also shows up right after Mary and the angels show up. This shows up on my security cameras now. So, as legal evidence in a court of law, we've got the baby from Revelation 12 being born and being captured on my security cameras, which tells me that Revelation 12 is real. It's true that angels and Mary and Jesus and God and Satan and demons, all this stuff is real. In fact, I've documented all of them on my channel. I have Satan's face. I have everybody's face. I have Jesus' face in the clouds. You just saw it. Okay, so it's kind of undeniable, this evidence that I've got here. And what boggles me is I watch these videos that get 5 million views of a floodgate opening on a dam. Please. Here I have some of the most important information in the last 2,000 years, and I got maybe 4 or 5 people watching my live stream. So, you know, I think I can understand why God's a little upset when here's this important information just being ignored, you know, viewed by a few, but ignored by everybody pretty much. And I'm just perplexed at how people cannot, you know, be interested in this, but it is what it is. So now we got Revelation 12 coming true and happening and documented as evidence right here that it's true and that it's real. Well, in the Revelation, it says what times time, a time and a half, which, as if you know how to do math, is 3.5 years. So 3.5 years from this time frame, because this is the time frame we are in the 3rd year anniversary right now of when all this stuff took place. 3 years ago, I was capturing this stuff in my garage. So in there it says 3.5 years. Well, 3.5 years from September 23rd would put it at March 23rd, 24th of 2021. Okay? Which happens to be my birthday, which also plays a part in all of this because now I'll show you that stuff later. But just I wanted to point that out. Here we are with evidence of Revelation 12 coming true, happening, being documented as legal evidence on the court of law, and here nobody seems to care. Well, a few do, and for you few, I'm just going to keep doing this. I don't care. It's that important. And then you saw this image of Jesus in the clouds right back here. This right here, this is real. This image was so big in the sky and in your face that you couldn't see it. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees because there's a tree right in your face. Well, if you back up and zoom out and compress the image, and then back up and zoom out some more and compress it some more, finally it starts to become clear. And the more you zoom out, the clearer it gets. It's like 10 dimensions back. This stuff is staring you guys in the face in the clouds every day, and you don't know it because you can't see it. But I found a little trick that helps you see this stuff in the clouds. Now, if you listen closely, I'll tell you how to capture these images and compress them in the sky. What I do is when you open up your camera on your cell phone and it produces the field of view on your screen, that image on your screen has been compressed. So take your phone, open it up, and start scanning the skies around, and you will start to notice there are these faces in the clouds and other characters too. I've caught all sorts of crazy characters in these clouds, and I'm going to show you some of that stuff too, because it's real, it's happening. The prophecy says you'll see Jesus coming in the clouds. Well, here it is. I've captured it for you, trying to show everybody what's really going on here. Everybody thinks as though the weather's crazy because of man. Give me a break. If you saw the size of that object that's raping our sun, you'd understand that it's our sun that's really controlling the stuff that's happening here on Earth, and something is interfering with our sun. Okay? Something divine, something from the spiritual realm. And it's no longer just showing up on my security cameras in like the etheric little, shafts of light images that you saw at first. Now it is taking form in the sky. And there are events happening in the sky that could explain a lot of what's going on here. So now I'm going to back out of this and I'm going to go into another video here that tries to explain a little bit of what's going on. Show you some of these. Well, maybe we'll do one of these little videos here real quick. Let's see if you guys can see this face real quick. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So this is an image I caught from a few days ago, and it's got a little character in here that's been reoccurring in this last week. And if you can't see it yet, I'm going to start pointing it out here and pull it over. And we're looking at this round face right here with an eye and a button nose, and it looks like he's almost a smash face, almost like a pug
or something with a human face. Here's his mouth, and he's kind of sad. He's looking down, kind of sad, and you can make out what look like horns or something coming off up there.
Can you guys see this face right here? It looks like an old man face, almost like a pug, like a pug dog whose snout is like smashed in. He's got a little black button nose right here, and he's pouting. Here's his pouting little mouth. Here's his eye. He's looking down. Here's the other eye. He's looking down, and he's pouting. He's looking down this direction.
So I'm going to pull it over a little bit more, and we'll zoom in on it. Okay, here's his eye, here's his other eye, and his nose, and he's looking down this way. And then as we pull back, you can see that he's a face in the clouds, like a planet or something with a face on it in the clouds. And we pull back more. And then what's going on here, this seems to be an arm coming down with the hands clasped together praying, another arm going back up this way, with the sun being right in the heart of the chest of the person who's praying here. So anyways, this little...
Okay, so you guys saw that one. I'm trying to just kind of go through these and get you the best images I can show you. Here, let's just go right to this guy. And it's right here.
It's not. There's a face right here, too. All
right, yeah, let's get
it
to
is.
this
Eye
one.
here, an eye here. You can see its ear coming up here, the jawline coming down. Here's the chin down here. It looks like it's like some kind of demon or goblin.
Okay, let's move the camera a little bit so maybe you guys can see what I'm talking about in this picture here. And these faces are showing up all over, not just... Yes, soon UFOs. Yes, I have UFOs that are all over these faces and stuff. I'll show that to you someday too. I've captured UFOs like making these faces in the sky and also showing up with their windows open with little characters inside the windows and everything. Here, let's show you this one real quick.
Hang on. Just real quick on this one. This reminds me of those paintings from like Leonardo da Vinci or whoever does it, of the crucifix with the UFOs in the background and the pilots in them. It kind of reminds me of that. You see the dude in the window there. All right.
Hi, Candy Smith. Oh, I love you, sweetie.
Okay, then this cloud showed up, and we'll start zooming in on it, and you'll see that it is a cloud, not an airplane, but it's a cloud that's in the shape of an airplane.
Okay, now we got answers to this one, to this event that happened right here. It looks like an airplane with a guy standing on it. I found a correlation of what it really is, and I'm going to show you right here. Watch this video here.
They're not straight up and down. There
All right, here we go.
Activity on the sun to report on today, and that's good because I had a revelation last night, and what I'm about to show you is going to knock your socks off. So, a couple of days ago, I was doing a video on these kind of craft exiting the sun, which looked like it was being towed out from behind the sun or something, and I did a video on that one. And that's this one right here. And it looked like it was this actual model being pulled out from behind the sun. So, I did a stream yesterday, and I was looking for a thumbnail for it, and I couldn't match up any pictures, wouldn't match up. And it wasn't until I started digging deeper into my pictures, and I pulled up this one right here, that I used as a thumbnail on my latest stream. That's when it occurred to me, this thing sitting next to this one, they're the same object. It's the same thing. Whoever made this craft right here
is here now. And what I thought was a man standing on the plane before is actually one of the vertical stabilizers that comes out at an angle, kind of like an F-18's vertical stabilizers. They're not straight up and down vertically, they come out at an angle. Well, much like that, so do these ones right here. And what I thought was a man standing up is this vertical stabilizer right here. Okay, so now back to this one. When I was looking at this a long time ago, I was looking at this weird kind of grasshopper type looking head, almost like a snub-nosed dragon with a mouth right here, you know, a blunt, shortened nose, 2 eyes, and this would be the head kind of looking this way. Okay, so again, the eyes, the snout, kind of a snub-nosed one with the curls back around with the mouth here, okay? And I was just kind of baffled at what a weird nose. It actually looks like a creature or something like that. Okay, now in this image, this is of a different model. It has 4 wings, and you see a longer snout on it, divided down the middle with a little ridge with 2 eyes, right there. Sorry, my arms are shaky. And what looks like a collar around it, and then the rest of the body, right? So we're looking at this one, and it has a longer snout, and you can make out the teeth a little bit more on the side. Now, there's another one with another version. Let me show you. Okay, this is the original one that we were looking at, and here it is with the shorter snout, snub-nosed a little bit, with an eye up here and an eye or whatever right here, and this ridge coming over and coming down, these defined swept wings, this weird vertical stabilizer, and the tail. All of those match exactly to this one right here. So now we know that this cloud formation was actually, you know, more than just a cute little airplane in the sky. Okay, here real quick, I don't know how to do a side-by-side image, but I can manage to do it right down here. So here's a quick little side-by-side comparison of the two. Okay, real quick, one good look at this. Okay, so clearly this is the same object taking form in the clouds. Actually, what they are is they're cloaked. And the cloaking mechanism, the electromagnetic mechanisms that they're using, cause condensation to form in the form of clouds. So when these things are cloaked, their cloaking device sometimes gives them away when it makes the water molecules condense into clouds, and the clouds start to take on the shape of the object. So when you're looking at some clouds sometime and it looks like there's a UFO and it's a perfect shape of a UFO, it probably is, because our whole skies are just covered with this stuff. And I'm gonna keep bringing it to you. Here, let's go into another one here that's different. So I forgot who it was that was asking about UFOs. Well, yeah, here's a UFO. Now it's identified, but it seems to be the race, or the race of entities that created the last ones are back visiting again. And this cloud is evidence of their presence here in our skies. Whew. Let me back up and go to something else here. Let's go do here. And then some other things have been happening that are kind of just kind of disturbing. But here, I'm going to go into it anyway. Howdy folks, welcome back. So snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds, what looked like a face over here. And I'm gonna start zooming in on this face because it's a real face. And
if you look back behind it here, let's zoom in just a little bit, you'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see it radiating out. Here's Jesus's face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out this image in the sky. See his face here? And there's a crown right here. Also in the etherical, in black, there's another crown right here. Anyways, I just wanted to show you this picture. Isn't this amazing? And this face, I recognize this face. I know who this is. I know who this face is. I see him every morning in the mirror. That's not all. I got another one. Then a few moments later, in this image, I took a picture of the same cloud, but this is at a different angle. I rotated it 90 degrees. I want you to look right up in here. You can see that there's a face, two eyes, smile, here's the head. And the arms are outstretched and he's holding a cell phone taking pictures of the sky. This is an image of me taking the pictures of the clouds. So the clouds are now mimicking me taking pictures of them.
If you turn your head to the right a little bit.
To the right a little bit, and you can see it a lot clearer. And just to kind of go in on these eyes, because they're there in the face. That's what my eyes must look like when I'm looking up at this stuff in amazement, just going, wow, no way. And then we'll pull back, and you'll see that that's part of this face. Who's holding out a cell phone, taking pictures. That's me taking pictures of the clouds. All right, I just wanted to bring that to you real quick.
Now, how would you feel if you saw faces in the clouds while holding your camera up and were taking pictures, and the faces changed into yours and changed into an image of you taking a picture of the sky? And this isn't my only image of this kind of event. I've captured it a few times of different angles of me holding a camera up to the sky taking pictures. Now, something I don't get into very often, but it's hard for me to hold my camera up and take these pictures because I have some shoulder issues. Okay, I have a shattered shoulder on one side and a torn rotator cuff on the other. So holding a camera up to the sky with your arms extended is excruciatingly painful. And a lot of these images don't take shape until I'm in a fair amount of pain. So I'll see something in the clouds and I'll hold my camera up and hold it and just keep watching and watching and watching. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I can barely hold my camera up anymore, these images start to take shape. And I have to hold it there and still hold it there. And I'm just begging for more strength, just a little bit more, please, God, so I can get one more frame. So a lot of these images that I'm showing you took a long time and a lot of pain to produce. So, all right, let's go on to the next one because I got more stuff here for you. Let's go to this one. Now, we had watched Jesus in the
for a minute.
All right, we watched this image, this little thing right here of Jesus in the clouds. What I have done is I've taken all of the pictures that I took of this event, some 20 some odd pictures, and put them together in a flip book, like a cartoon almost, where you flip the pages and the image on each page changes a little bit so you can see the movement or motion All right. So what I've done is I've taken all these pictures and I've put them into motion now so you can see. And here we go.
And I'm just going to let it play this loop and see if you can see what's going on in there first before I start pointing stuff out. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going on there. But for those of you who can't see, this is Jesus' face right here. You can make out his eyes, his nose, his mouth, his beard. Here's his hair flowing back. There's a crown hovering above his head here. So just watch that for a moment. Okay, and this was like 5 to 6 frames that I put in a flip book. Okay, sorry about that. My computer mysteriously turns off in mid-video. So, anyways, back to this. You can see Jesus' face here with the crown hovering over his head. And this is probably the most important information we've had in the last 2,000 years. I mean, really, look at this. This is a real image, you guys. These are real pictures. So, take a little hope in some of these images that I'm showing you. And please help me share this. This is, like I said, the most important information we've had in the last 2,000 years. This is the information everybody's been waiting for. Jesus in the clouds. I've captured it. It's right here. So please help me share this. I mean, I get like 100 views. This is something that we should at least have 1,000 views. I mean, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, can we make a picture worth at least 1,000 views? This should be going viral. Everybody on the whole planet needs to see this. So please, I beg you. I put so much time and energy and pain into these images.
All right.
Please help me share this.
Move on. Okay, now.
Okay, so in this image is a continuation on from what we had seen before. It's Jesus' face, but now it's morphing into a different face. So hopefully you can see this. If not, try twisting your head to the right or back and forth, straight up and down a little bit until you capture this round face right here, which looks like a lion's face that's split down the middle, half white, half black. Now, in this event right here, something happened, and I'll explain it to you later. But for right now in this video, I just want you to focus on Jesus and how he's turning into a lion. Okay, you guys see this? This is real. Okay, this was hard to capture. It took a long time to put it all together, compress all these images, and put them in the right order until we get the right effect here. So, as you can see, I got a lot more here. Let's just scroll up. I've been a busy guy. There's a lot more to cover, but for this video, we're just sticking with Jesus in the clouds. Okay.
All right, so now I think I'm going to go try to find these flip books. We're going to go into the flip books here, and we'll show you some of those too, because I've got some ones that I put together for you guys. Let's just go over to the albums here. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I'm not the best at this, so I appreciate your patience and your tolerance as we kind of try to go through this stuff. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This incident right here took place back in May, I think. And what happened here, this was a broken heart at first, and it slams together and turns into a bisymmetric face with black on one side and white on the other. Okay, over here you can see the butterfly man forming. He's coming together. His face is right here. You'll see it at the end with his antennas coming up, his hands reaching out, and this cloud is forming into the butterfly man. It was just a random cloud, and then it started to come together with a little bit of patience and some pain, and it started to form. Okay, and then there's other ones here. This one was interesting. It's some kind of bird-like creature with a beak right here, and he's covering one eye and saying peekaboo and exposing his eye. Let's get you to zoom in real quick on this one so you can see what I'm talking about. Minus the lines. There we go. Oh, maybe. Anyways, there's that one. Okay, and then these flip books are hard to put together because I got to go through each image, compress it down, and then put them all in sequence. And sometimes it won't play the sequence. The sequence isn't right, or they're out of whack, or something. And what had happened with this one is it started off as a broken heart and slammed together as a face. And I did a video on that one. I think we're going to back up and go show you that video real quick because it's more apparent in the video than it is in that flip book. So we're just going to go to where to go here. Bear with me for a second as we find as I get lost in my own page here. Where is it? Miracle in the Sky. I think it's this one. Howdy folks, welcome back. So in my last video we were discussing this face right here with an eye here and an eye here, the nose here and the mouth. And we'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. And this is kind of a split face. There's a regular eye on this side, but this has a black iris with a white pupil. Hopefully you can see these eyes. Down a little bit. Okay, so that image right there was from the last video I showed you, and what I'm about to show you here is very disturbing and very scary, and if you're not ready for it, don't watch this. Otherwise, here we go. Okay, what you're looking at here is a bunch of pictures slammed together over the course of about an hour. And I've taken each frame and compressed it and then put it in a flip book so you can see what's happening. If you tried to videotape this, you wouldn't see it. So it has to be done frame by frame, compressed, and then put into a flip book. And okay, let's go back to see if I can get it better where you can see the face slamming together. I guess it's in this one, so I guess I'm not patient enough. Pressed it and then put it in a flip book so you can see what's happening. If you tried to videotape this, you wouldn't see it. So it has to be done frame by frame, compressed, and then put into a flip book. And there you can see the heart slamming together. You're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm going to start pointing stuff out for you. It starts off right here with this Satan type looking face, then it turns into a dragon, and then this face slides over, and there's the God face thing that I showed you at the beginning. There's multiple faces and multiple dimensions in every single frame of this, so this is a lot more than what meets the eye. Also, something else, these images don't start taking form until I'm in a fair amount of pain. Okay, so I already said that part, but there's this weird face forming with an eye here and an eye here, split down the middle. If we go back just a tad bit to this more like the clown looking face here. Forgive the phone calls. I don't answer the phone, so let's go back to another one I was going to show you. Where did it go? Okay, so we're going to play this one here. Howdy folks, welcome back. So here we got you back at this event again because I've discovered some other stuff going on in here, and something very disturbing, so let's just get into it.
At the very beginning of this loop here, when this face forms right here, it's actually a broken heart. So at the beginning of this loop, turn your head to the right here just a little bit. You'll see it was a broken heart that slams together into this symmetrically divided face. It's black on one side and white on the other. Boom. See that? If you turn your head, like I said, to the right a little bit, you'll see that it started out as a heart and then turned it into a face. Now, as I've been going through these pictures, not all these pictures fit together. It has to be a certain sequence or the computer won't put them together. And what's odd is this face was way up here at the beginning and should not fit in that sequence, but it does. And I was wondering why. And it's because there's activity going on in it. It's actually a broken heart coming together, slamming together. And just to let you know, you guys, I've been picking up a lot of images of broken hearts, ones that are just shred.
Oh,
Sorry about
thank
that.
you.
My computer
Thank
likes
you,
to
Northland.
turn off in the middle of my videos now. So back to the hearts. I've seen some shredded hearts, just ones that are bleeding, and I don't bring them to you because they're just so heartbreaking. I can't show you that stuff. But in this one, you can see it a little bit, and then the face slams together into a bisymmetrical face. Also, there are other entities that I've been showing you, in these pictures. Now, every entity in the sky has a bisymmetrical face, black and white. So something happened in the spiritual realm here, and now every face in the sky that I see is bisymmetrical, black and white now. Before they were all white, and now they are all split face like this. Every entity in the sky. And I got some pictures of that, and I'll bring that to you later, but this is more important right now. You can see the dragon's face is split now, white on one side, black on the other. I witnessed something in the sky, what looked like a handshake between God and Satan was enlightened and looked up at God in shock, and now his black face is half white. So maybe it's a good thing that, evil has some good in it, or, there's multiple messages in here, so you guys can decipher what you want out of this, but I want you to see that shredded heart at the beginning slamming together into this new polarized entity. Okay, and now I got something else for you that is deeply disturbing, so hang on. Okay, before we get into this, I just want to give a shout out to Times and Signs. She does a really good job of bringing you, information from around the world that our media refuses to cover. And very courageous lady. So I wanted to give a shout out because I'm about to use her video. And if you want to see better clarity of what I'm about to show you, go over to her channel and watch this video. Give her a thumbs up like I'm gonna right now. There you go. All right, here we go. Wait, before I start this video, I want to point out this face in the sky here. I've seen this face a lot lately, and I've just been afraid to kind of show it to you but in this video, here's this face. It's bisymmetrical. It's got black on one side, white on the other. Here's the eyes up here. I'm just going to start playing the video. And this was in a video about the sound in the sky, so I want you to listen to the sound.
Could you guys see that face that I was pointing out there? I'm going to continue playing this video. I just wondering if you guys could see the face. Once you pull back a lot, you can see that it's more defined. And I'm going to continue on here.
Okay, this lady is highly intelligent. She recognizes what's going on here, and what she did is she sped up the sound. She sped up this video 2 times because stuff is happening in different dimensions and slow motion. So when you speed things up, you start to see the activity even clearer. So here we go. All right, folks, this is a real event, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this to you now is because I see these events unfolding in the sky, and I think it's time that you guys understand that God is here now, and he's not too happy.
So I've seen this face now over my town, let's say, around where I live. And I don't bring it to you and show it to you because it's a little too much. But this incident right here, pretty much, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you guys can see what's going on in there. So let's go back and let's do some more. Let's see here. I did have a UFO in one of these. I can't which one now because it's been so long. Maybe it's this one. Let's just take a
I'll leave that there for a second so you can try it. Maybe back out a little bit.
Nah, not that one. That was the wrong one. Let's see. Where's goblins? Look. Let's do this one. Welcome back. So not much activity going on the sun to report on. So I'm going to go back to these sky show videos and stuff and these compilations that I've made. So if you can't see it yet, in this one is what appears to be the character from Star Wars, like the little critter that's sitting next to Jabba the Hutt. And we got an eye here and an eye over there. Here's his eyebrows. He's lifting them. Here's his nose coming out and his mouth. Okay. And you can see that this is like a slit cat eye type eye on this side. Over here, you can make out 2 different eyes. There's one right here and then a bigger one right here. So there's different dimensions in this as well. And these are compressed way down and squeezed into a flip book. I think there was probably 4 or 5 frames that all fit together. And when you put it together, there's a little bit of motion. And it looks like he's raising his eyebrows or squinting or something. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, and then in this one, I think it's kind of clear to see that there's this goblin face right here with an eye, another eye, a big long nose, mouth with teeth, a little weird goatee type thing coming off of it. And also, if you can see down here, this little thing moving, I believe this may be a ghost because these photos were taken in a cemetery. And there's a grave right underneath this, and I have a feeling that this might be a ghost or something waving its little hand. Okay, here I've zoomed in a little tighter on this goblin face here because you can make out an eye with a pupil in it right there. And in his mouth, you can make out the teeth and the bottom jaw. And then this twisted little goatee coming off, and this big long nose. Okay. Okay, now in this one, it appears that we have another goblin here. Okay, so as we're watching this face here, this is like 4 frames or 5 frames in this little flip book. Okay, you guys have already seen this face. Something else that I'm capturing in the sky is not just all biblical stuff. I'm capturing different characters, cartoon characters, different kind of characters and stuff, and I'm just like, well, what's going on with this? Why is this stuff happening? But let's see if I can find you. The one that has, here we go. Just started at the beginning. Here we got you at April 20th, and I've been taking pictures every day because I've been seeing these events unfold in the sky every day now, so I've been getting lots. Okay, there it is. Alright, I think we're back. Let me get repositioned here to do a couple of things here, but hopefully we are back. There we go. So, yes. Looks like we're back. Hopefully get a couple people. Oh, cool. We are back. Thank you for letting me know that, Purple Mambo. That's awesome. Okay, get ready because I'm going to show you something else now. You guys will like this one. This one's cool. Stop as many pictures as I could at this stoplight, and we're going to start zooming in, pulling it over a little bit, and maybe some of you see it now, but there's Yoda in the sky right there. Yes. And this is like one of these pictures that's multi-dimensional too. So if you tilt your head to the right a little bit and make this an eye now, it turns into a gremlin or one of the little mogwais before he's eaten after midnight. So we had this sitting in the sky. Now, I'm used to seeing angels and dragons and stuff, biblical stuff. So this one caught me off guard. And even though it's, not part of the story or whatever, it's still in the sky, so I'm going to bring it to you. And maybe this is an entity, or there's an actual character, Yoda, that lives out there in the universe or something. And this is God showing us this is a different race or something, possibly. Now, these pictures are interesting because as you pan in and pull out, different things appear. So I'm going to do a little of both. We'll zoom in a little bit here so you can see Yoda's face. Tilt your head to the right, you can see the little gremlin. But then as we pan back, that face starts to kind of blend in and disappear. And there appears to be another face or something right up here. And if you're seeing other faces in here, they're probably there. And the trick is to like take an eye and match it with another eye, and this becomes a face. Then you take this eye and match it with another eye, and another face appears. So I'm just going to leave that sitting there for a second. I'll pan in and out. And you guys can leave some comments of what you guys see, pointing out stuff that maybe I missed. And this is just sitting in the clouds. Yep, just look like that until you look at the bigger picture and zoom in, and all of a sudden here's Yoda's face in the sky. Crazy. And that's not all, because at this same intersection I caught another photo. So just as before the light turned green, I hear this, over this way, over this way. So I turn and I see this little curlicue thing in the sky here, so I pop a couple pictures of this. And as we pan back, you're going to see this curvature here is the Death Star, a destroyed Death Star right there. Here's the little radar dish or whatever, the part on the Death Star, and here's the destroyed part and the round back of it. If you can't see it there, I'm going to try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try this little pop-up image up here. Kind of helps a little bit. Maybe now Death Star a little better there. Now you know what to look at as I pull this back, pull away. So we got Yoda in one part of the sky and a Death Star in another part of the sky. So after reporting on sun activity for a long time, I've noticed a lot of stuff going on around the sun. What to me looks like a battle out in the stars, like Star Wars. And I'm wondering if maybe this is God's way of showing us that Star Wars is for real and that it's going on, and maybe this is a little sign of some good news that maybe we've won or something. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. Hopefully you guys can see the Death Star. The back of it here is the round circular part, and then the destroyed part. So there was that. Now, I'm getting images of destroyed Death Stars in the air, and then we start getting, we start getting activity like this next video showing up. And we'll just do this right here. I think this is the best part of it. And if you go over to his channel, there's sound to this. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So in fair use, for educational purposes only, I'm using this gentleman's video here. And this is James LaFleur from That Impossible channel. And he's also got a new channel now called James. Here, let's pan over to it. There we go. Called James there. So go subscribe to him. This might be faked. So okay, I'll let you go over to his channel and watch him explain his viewpoints on it. But here we go. Okay, here we go. Now, James is describing that he thinks this might be faked, but the more I look at it with the whole thing here in the context of the whole video, it's looking more and more real for me. And comparing it to the other object that we had captured last year with similar effects like this, unless it's the same person faking it twice, but I don't think so. This looks like somebody captured this event for real. And if you go over to his channel, there's sound to this too. So go over to James's channel, not That Impossible channel, but the secondary channel is James's channel. And that's where this video is at. And I'll play it one more time here for you real quick. I mean, just too coincidental that it happens to look very similar to this other object. One more time for you guys here. You can go over to James and listen to his reasons why he thinks it might be fake. So we got images of a destroyed Death Star showing up in the clouds along with Yoda and his face. And then we get incidents like these that are captured by people around the world. Some I want you to notice here, what I look for is the cameraman's reaction. And did you see how he was panned down at the ground and then pulled up just in time to catch this event? If you were trying to fake this, you would have had this thing all centered and in the middle, all clearly defined to see and everything. It wouldn't be as jumpy and as reactive. I look for the reactions of the cameraman. That kind of tells me a lot. And when I saw this guy's reaction, how he was opening his phone is what he was doing. Phone is pointing at the ground as he's opening up the camera trying to get this incident, and he looks up just in time. He probably saw this streak coming and thought, I better capture that, and he caught the tail end of it right there, right as the explosion happens and stuff. Okay, so back to my channel here. So we're getting all this activity, these things showing up in the sun. We got these gravitational waves, weird stuff showing up on the Schumann here. And we'll do this little video, and getting into the 3rd of September. If you, I can't see the date, but I'm going to zoom in on this structure because it looks a little familiar. So let's just start zooming in really tight, because I want you guys to look at this weave pattern, how we got segments and they're zigzag and staggered, and then we also have our colors going across this way as well. So let's just go really tight so you guys can kind of see this. It looks like coded almost information or something there. Okay, so there's that. Now I zoomed into that for a reason, because it reminds me a lot of this right here. Now this is a picture that was taken about 2 years ago around this time of the year, and it captured what looks to be almost like a magnetic interference, or two magnetic fields intersecting and causing this kind of effect in our clouds, much like the effect we're seeing here. Now this is a crop circle, but it's a representation of two magnetic fields interfering with each other, and you can see how these things start to separate along magnetic field lines, okay? How all these little segments are all individual segments floating along magnetic field lines. Now in this picture, this seems to me that the clouds have now compressed and are falling into those magnetic field lines and starting to arrange themselves, just like we saw in that little crop circle thing. And then if you tilt your head to the right a little bit and look at this as if these are going like hallways down this way, it really starts to look a lot like the Schumann resonance. See, a lot like this configuration here on the Schumann resonance, and it looks like just like one of those hallways, all in formation, equally divided and everything. So I think that this is an actual reading. So as I wrap this up, I wanted to say that, you know, we're seeing these magnetic field lines showing up on the Schumann. Folks, maybe watch your skies and start looking for any kind of telltale signs like this stuff down below here, a little lower, or even possibly something as complex as this maybe forming in your skies. A lot of people theorize this was Project Bluebeam or whatever, but it's not showing some kind of entity or anything. This is more like magnetic interference, two magnetic fields crossing or intersecting with each other, and this is the result, what would happen in the clouds. So folks, I'd say keep your eyes to the skies and see if you can capture anything like that. So you sky watchers out there, be on the lookout for any kind of configuration starting to form that are similar to this. Okay, so this was kind of matching up with the Schumann resonance, right? Well, let's go over to the Schumann resonance right now. In fact, I'm going to refresh it so we got the latest image from the Schumann resonance popping up right now. Okay, and at the current moment, you can see we've got this grid work going again, along with other signatures that we're used to seeing. These little blasts now are still happening in accordance with these little segmented signatures going across the top here. And I just wanted to say that I don't think that this is just an accident or a glitch, these segmented readings. It could be interference from another magnetic field. It might be something that we're producing, our own magnetic field for protection against the sun. But it's still showing up here on the Schumann. Okay. Then let's go back to this real quick and we'll wrap it up with, what's this one? Oh, it's an hour. We'll wrap it up with this Real Hope one, because these are actual real images of real angels showing up in my garage, and we'll just wrap it up with this. Just crossing into this realm and going over these brown roof tiles in the background here. So it's crossing from their realm into ours and is actually visible. Okay, I'll let you look at that for a sec. We can pull back a little bit here because you zoom in too tight and you can't make it out. But you can make out the silhouette of its wings. Okay. Then around the same time, my security cameras captured this image, and it's a lady's profile. She's smiling. Here's her headdress coming down. She's holding a baby. Here's the baby's head. Here's her arms wrapped around it. She's holding the baby, smiling, looking down at it. Let you look at that one for a second. And this is right after the Revelation 12 sign in the sky. This happened on October 11th. So we got Revelation 12 coming true. We got objects interfering and attacking the sun. We got stuff showing up in our atmosphere, stuff showing up in our clouds and everything. And just I want to leave you with one last note, was the 3.5 years. Well, the 23rd is going to be the 3-year anniversary of the sign in the heavens. And another 6 months from that, we'll put it at about March 24th. Now, I don't like to go setting dates or anything like that, but by what the Bible is telling me and by what I'm capturing, I'm starting to think that we might see something happen around March 24th, which happens to be my birthday. But that's it for now. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something from it. And until my next video or stream, I love you all. Bye.